If this reading found you today, that means you're struggling with saying goodbye. You're struggling with releasing something, whether that's a career, a relationship, or even the fact that you're moving and you have to say goodbye to where you have lived for so long. If that's the case, today we're going to work with the Maiden, Mother, and Crone to give us some guidance on how to release gently, how to let go with love, how to move forward with the lessons of the past season of your life as the new unfolds. This is your friendly reminder. If you're catching the replay, you can always 2x your speed or click the timestamps below to jump straight to the message. Before we begin, we're going to do an energy check. I don't really have a lot of energy coming through for this. I woke up with a song playing on repeat in my head, and now I can't remember what it was. And I knew I should have wrote it down, and I did not. So maybe music is very significant to you. Maybe you don't have a great memory. I'm trying to remember like the essence of the song. It was very like nostalgic, very it wasn't like heartbreak, but it was very much like on the edge of heart, like getting over heartbreak is what the song was like, kind of the theme, I think, from what I can remember. Also, the idea of nourishment, something about what you're letting go really did nourish you, whether that was in a soul way. Maybe you are changing your diet and so you're letting go of food that you loved, but it was not necessarily nourishing you and you're moving forward with a new nourishing diet. Or just relationships, right? Soul family, things that really did nourish you, your spirit. Stalling, so really struggling to let go, really struggling to have this goodbye moment, this moving on moment, this finally locking the door on the old apartment and moving into the new one. There's definitely an idea of stalling. I'm seeing with the Friends episode where they're all moving out at the very end of the series. It's just like that kind of energy where you're just kind of hanging around and nobody wants to move. Nobody wants to let go of what they're feeling, right? Yeah. And then clarity is another energy that came through. It's like everyone knows exactly what needs to happen. Everyone knows that this is part of life. Everyone knows that this is the next logical, the next intuitive, the next step that's for the highest good of all. But even with that clarity, it's just kind of like, but it feels good to linger. Yeah. In the thumbnail, you'll see the Queen of Wands. I only put one card up just because, I don't know, the energy is just strange this morning. I don't know how to describe it. And I am working with all three archetypes today for this reading, but for the thumbnail, I just chose to work with the crone, and that is what came through was the Queen of Wands. And so it's definitely a time for you to shine. And something about letting go is required for this shining to really take place, for you to really sit in the throne of who you are, letting yourself really shine radiantly in the biggest, brightest, most attractive way. Okay. And nurturing yourself forward as you're moving forward in your life. I'm like, my ego is being very judgmental of me right now in this reading. Like, everything I'm saying is like I'm hearing like resistance in my ego. So maybe you're having some self-doubt about letting go or some criticism, but you know in your heart that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah. Okay, cool. We're going to go ahead and move forward now with breath work. I always do breath work on my lives because it brings me into the present moment. It brings you into the present moment. It grounds us into our bodies. It grounds us into now. And now is where our lives unfold. Now is where we are experiencing everything. We're too caught up in yesterday. We're too caught up in tomorrow. Those things don't exist. Only now does. Only now. So I invite you to join me while you're breathing. Find any tension or stress in your body. Let the breath soothe it. Let it melt away. Okay. We're going to breathe in through the nose for 6, hold for 2, and then breathe out through the mouth for 8. We'll do this 3 times. Are you ready? Let's begin. Very nice. During that breath work, you may have done some type of breath work ceremony. Maybe you're certified in breath work, or maybe you're just already aware of how much breath impacts your mental state, your emotional body, everything about your life. So if that is the case, man, good for you. That's awesome. I would love pop it in the comments. What is your favorite breath work exercise? And then also, I kind of wanted to tell you guys, just as a moment of gratitude for me to express thanks for the beautiful things in my life, even if they're could be considered small to some people. It's not small to me. The inspiration for this reading came because this has been the last week that I've had my office space. This is not my office space. This is my house, but Spirit provided the office space for me for 2 months, and I did not tell a single soul that I wanted an office. I did not look for offices on my phone. I never said anything. I was coming home from dinner one night, passing through a small town near where I live, and I was like, I just thought to myself, not to anyone. I wasn't talking to anyone. I was like, man, it would be really cool if there was an office here for me to rent. That would be really neat. Maybe one day I'll do that, right? And the universe heard that. The universe heard that thought and manifested it for me. It wasn't in that little cute little town that I was in, but I got random things popping up in my phone for this office space. And like my heart was so excited. My soul was like, just yes, yes. But my ego was like, no, you don't need to invest in this. Are you crazy? What's wrong with you? And then I got there and the investment was even more than I thought it was. And I was like, oh no, you definitely don't need to invest in this. But it felt like home. It felt true. And so I did. And I got to experience 2 months in my own office space. And it was so beautiful. It was a sanctuary for me. It was such a place to just go and have creative freedom and just peace, right? So I appreciate you guys letting me share my story with you and share the inspiration from behind the story, because I'm going to go turn my keys in and finish cleaning it out. And I mean, it's empty, but I have to go like sweep and clean everything today. So that's why the inspiration for this reading came through. So thank you, Spirit, for that opportunity, for that experience. Thank you for being here. Let's get into the message. Maiden. How can this collective say goodbye? How can this collective say goodbye? These are precious cards, man. How can this collective say goodbye? Such sweet energy. All right, on the bottom of the cup, bottom of the deck, you have the Knight of Cups. That's really pretty. Very sweet. This is what was going to come through. The first card we got from the Maiden is Judgment. Second card, such sweet energy, Six of Cups. And then the last card is the Queen of Cups. Look at all that heart energy, all that love energy, that intuition energy. Thank you, Maiden. Mother. How can this collective say goodbye? How can they let go? How can they say goodbye, please? I don't know which one that was. We're going to keep going. Popping. They're popping. Oh, interesting. One more card, please. What? Okay, so we have a repeat here. On the bottom of the deck energy, to cover this up, we have Judgment from the Mother, but that was also the very first card we got from the Maiden. So we have some repeat energy coming through. Not surprised. These archetypes like to flow together. They weave their stories connected like that. Some surprising energy coming in from the Mother. So the first card we have is the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. The second card we have is Lilith with the Knight of Pentacles. And then the last card is the Nine of Swords with, I think this is the Beast. Yeah, the Beast. Nine of Swords. So it'll be interesting to see how this message comes together. And last but not least, we're going to work with the Crone. Crone, how can this collective say goodbye? How can this collective say goodbye, please? Thanks. Oh, we have another repeat energy. Not surprised. Not surprised. All right. So the bottom of the deck energy from the Crone is the Six of Cups, which we also got from the Maiden. So both of these archetypes confirming what each other is saying. Love to see that. The first card is the Eight of Pentacles. Yes. Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Cups. I'm not surprised to see this. Okay. Breathe with this message for a minute. Okay, so that's the first message. Just to let you guys know how this is going to work, I'll read the message from the Maiden, then we'll move to the Mother, then we'll move to the Crone. At the very end, I will pull a card from the Vagus Nerve deck, and we will read that, and then we will open it for personal readings. Okay. So, starting with breath. With the Knight of Cups being the bottom of the deck energy from the Maiden, this is all about leading from your heart, right? I told you in the beginning of this, in the intro, in the energy check, that you know, and you have the Ace of Wands under that. Of course you do. You know, like, even if you have some resistance in your mind, you know in here it's time to move forward. Whether this is offering a new person your heart or offering opportunities for people to come in and be friends with you. Whatever you are offering here, right? Offering with love. If this is something new in your work, if you are, changing careers, you're offering a piece of yourself to this new career. What I'm hearing is start with breath. Okay. When we get those emotions coming up of like fear, or if you have that imposter syndrome, if you are overwhelmed, maybe this isn't even sadness. Maybe you're overwhelmed with gratitude. You never believed that your life could look this way. You never believed that things could unfold so abundantly for you, so beautifully and magically. What I'm hearing is when you get overwhelmed, when your heart is leading and it's just like, whoa, what do I do? Come back to your breath. Okay. Take your time, slow down, just breathe. And allow the emotion to be there, but just know that the emotion's not who you are. You are the steadiness beneath it. Moving on to the next card, we have Judgment. I told you were leading with your heart and your soul. It's time to say goodbye because the soul's ready to experience something new. The soul's ready for this next chapter. You've probably been heading towards this goodbye for a long time. It could have been just logistics. It took a while for you to find this new apartment. It took a while for you to find this new job, or it took a while for you to accept the fact that the relationship was over and it was time to move on. Whatever your reality is, you've been listening to your soul because it's been saying, it's time. Hey, let go. And you've released a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. You've kept going a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. You've been peeling back the layers, right? Tuning into that new frequency, that new reality. I was thinking about it, try to think of different ways to talk about energy and when you're manifesting your life and how yes, you're creating it, but you're really not creating it because everything already exists. So one example Spirit gave to me was like, if you're a DJ and you're playing different music, it's like, what song are you putting on? What are you going to play for everybody? That's how you're tuning into this life. You're listening to that nudge from the soul. You feel the nudge from the soul, and it's subtle and it's quiet, but you're listening because to you, you're so tuned in, it's loud. Now, you when you're in tune with soul, when you are living in alignment with soul, that means you become more and more aware of the unity and oneness of all. You realize there is no separation. It's just an illusion. Everything is all the same. I'm not going to get into science. I'm not going to get into physics, quantum mechanics. I'm not going to get into any of that because ultimately you know it. You experience it. You feel it. And so to let go, your soul's guiding you to honor those fond memories, right? Where your inner child came out to play, if you had a relationship and you had so much fun. You're being invited to honor that part. See it kindly. Think of it fondly. Be sentimental, be nostalgic. It's okay. It's fine. There's a place for that. There's a place for that. Let's honor it right now, right? If this was a business or a career, a specific job that you had, think about who you were when you started and who you are now. How much have you grown? What did you learn? And I'm sure you learned a lot more than just work. You learned how to interact with other people in your company or your clients or your vendors, all those interpersonal relationships you've developed there. That's something to be grateful for. Maybe you learned how to hold boundaries. You learned how to stop overgiving. You learned how to show up and do the work that you were prepared to do and had the capacity to do. Right? That's a wonderful lesson. If this is a relationship, did you learn how to be honest and share your truth and speak from a place of non-judgment, right? If not, this is your opportunity to look at all the ways it could have possibly gone differently if you had. No judgment. That's how we take the lesson with us forward. That's how we break the patterns of the past, is to look and see, okay, how could I have done this differently? It was beautiful. And then I stopped sharing myself. I stopped being myself. I stopped saying no, is what I heard specifically. Stop saying no when I wanted to. I don't know. Maybe you need to go buy yourself flowers. I just heard Miley Cyrus's song, I Can Buy Myself Flowers. But ultimately, we can say goodbye. We can release the past from a place of very sovereign power, from a place of emotional maturity, from a place of steadiness and ease, and a place of receptivity, right? We cannot receive the new experiences in our life if our life is full of the old, if we are constantly thinking about the past, we are constantly reliving the past in our mind. That's why I do breath work, because we need to be here now, in this moment. In this moment, you can be emotionally stable. You can be so thankful and full of love. You can listen to that soul nudge, that intuition that told you, yes, this career is done. It's time to move on. It's time to grow. Yes, this relationship is done. It's time to let go. Yes, you've outgrown this apartment. It's time to grow. It's time to move on. For somebody in particular, I'm getting like you're moving from an apartment to a townhouse. Like very specific, I know, but that's what I heard. If we move now to the message from the mother, again with judgment coming through, you can rest in the fact that your soul is always completely content and fine and at peace and not longing. That's how you can say goodbye, because you don't have to get stuck in, is this the right decision or the wrong decision? doesn't matter as long as there is a decision, as long as there is movement. And even if there's not a decision, it ultimately doesn't matter because the soul just is. And so the soul is sitting in the indecision and experiencing the indecision. It may make your human life uncomfortable. It may make your ego uncomfortable. But you can say goodbye knowing that either way, you're fine. Doesn't matter what happens. Your life is going to unfold exactly the way it needs to because your soul doesn't have a preference. Your soul is just here to experience. It's just to witness the unfolding, witness the journey. And you are always on the journey because you are always here right now. You may not be aware of it. You may be caught here. You may be caught in your emotions, but your soul is always here now. Let's pull the book for this, Nine of Pentacles in reverse, because I think I'm good with the Nine of Swords, but this one is a little bit interesting to me. It is interesting, though, that the Maiden gave us mostly cup energy and the Mother has given us mostly pentacle energy. So it's like taking that emotion, grounding it down, grounding it into your body. Yeah, not letting it get trapped in your body for sure. And how do we do that? We experience our emotions without judgment, but without dwelling on them also. The reason we keep cycling through and dwelling in negativity and dwelling in sadness and dwelling in negative emotions is because we don't allow ourselves to really actually fully feel the emotion when it comes up. And so it's repressed and it keeps trying to get expressed. And that's why it keeps coming through and you keep living in these cycles and it's overwhelming and Okay. So the reversed version of this card symbolizes a scarcity of resources and the worries and stress associated with that. So interesting because we have Nine of Swords. This is definitely anxiety and stress. It signifies a time when talent and creativity are stifled. There may be an abundance of potential, but you are unable to express the effects because of the stagnation, which leads to feeling resentful and restricted. I was just talking about stagnation. It's interesting that I started this message with gratitude because that is one way to get out of stagnation. If you can experience moments of gratitude throughout your day, it brings you back to all of the potential around you, right? You need the sharp relief of balance. Moderate your Moderate your expenditure now to ensure you are not giving out more than you are taking in. We were talking about that earlier, right? What is your capacity? What is your capacity for giving? What is your capacity for experiencing right now? Make your resources work for you at this time. Budgeting and planning are great allies. These interventions will be a tremendous benefit to you because you can plan ahead at a glance and not be left shortchanged. And here's a question for you. How do you react in the face of restrictions? How do you believe that fortune favors the bold? Interesting. So maybe there is some resistance and some resistance because your ego is stuck in this scarcity, stuck in this. We don't have all of the resources to pay this new rent. We don't have connections in this new career. Or you just don't have experience trusting your intuition. That could be the case too. But with the Knight of Pentacles coming through, this is clear. The Mother is saying here, show up every day in an attitude of gratitude. Show up every day taking small, measured steps, small, measured actions, repeatable things, right? We've all seen those building videos where they do time lapses and the video is like an hour, but it took what, over a year a lot of times for people to build certain things, especially I'm thinking of like the handmade houses and stuff. Um, in Asia, I think is where a lot of those are at. Don't let yourself be fooled into thinking that this isn't the right move, that you shouldn't let go, that you can't say goodbye because you don't have the resources. Um, you're not stuck anywhere. You're free at every single point of your life. It may not feel like that, but that's because you have a limiting belief that says that you have to experience X to be free. You have to have money to be free. You have to. Does that help you feel free? Yes. Does that help you experience more time freedom? Yes. But ultimately, your soul is always free. I'm not doing a great job explaining this message today. Again, with that ego, man. What is the judgment coming through on this reading? Maybe you are hypercritical and it's time to say goodbye to that voice. The voice of there's not enough. Man, I wish I could have. Their life must be so great. If you're not willing to take the actual steps in life to change your reality, you really shouldn't be mumbling that somebody else has a different life than you. That sounds a bit harsh. I get it. I know. But how do you expect things to magically change if you don't do something different? They say that's the definition of insanity, is to do the same things and expect a different result. How are you showing up differently? It doesn't have to be grand gestures. It doesn't have to be big things, right? How are you showing up differently one way a day? Can you do one thing that scares you or makes you a little bit uncomfortable? It doesn't even have to be like massively scary. Like, I'm not talking about go bungee jumping or skydiving. What is one thing that makes you a little uncomfortable? Can you do that every day? Because then your pain tolerance is going to rise and your reality can be like completely different. Anything your mind says to you, anything the beast shows up and decides to whisper in your ear will have no bearing. No bearing at all. You'll hear it, you'll see it, and you'll dismiss it. Not with judgment, but just like, just a thought. And the thoughts that you want to have, the ones that you want to experience, the thoughts that bring those good emotions that you want to feel, you'll cultivate those. But that takes time. It takes showing up every day with this very steady presence of non-judgment, but practicality. Like, okay, my life can't change if I'm calling myself a loser. My life can't change if I'm saying I'm unlovable. My life can't change if I say I never succeed or no one's going to hire me. You have to take the time to sit with those limiting beliefs, to sit with that anxiety, to sit with that fear, to do the very hard thing. The very hard thing. If this was easy, everyone would do it. It's not easy. And that's why most people are unhappy and don't have peace and are constantly looking outside of themselves, because it's not easy. But it doesn't mean it's not simple. It is very simple to come home to yourself, to listen to your soul calling. We've gotten judgment twice. That is the soul call. Do you hear it here? Do you feel it? Or is this too loud? Is it way too loud for you to hear anything else, to feel anything else? Come back to your breath, friend. It always gets us back to here. Moving now to the message from the crone. Again, with this Six of Cups. Now I'm seeing this more as if we are doing this work on our thoughts. Think about when you were a child and how free you were. You took every day like an adventure. You were like, we're going to go do this. I'm going to go do what, like, just think of that freedom. And then there were people that came into your life and it's like, no, you can't do that. No, don't do that. Stop that. We know who they were, right? They came in and they changed our realities. They changed what we believed was possible in the world. That's where we need to focus our attention. That's where we need to be very diligent. Because maybe that is why I'll give you guys a personal example. I remember this day very clearly. I don't remember how old I was. I was probably a teen, like middle school or almost high school, right in there. And I love to sing. And so I said something to my dad about I was going to go on America's Got Talent or something. I don't know. And he said, people like us don't do that, don't have lives like that. And I remember that completely changed my reality of what was possible for me. And he was just trying to like keep me safe, right? He loved me. He didn't mean anything by it. But from that moment on, what I thought was possible for me was not the same as what I used to think was possible for me. So we have to be very diligent. We have to examine every single pentacle, look at every single memory. And sometimes we don't remember them because it was so bad we've suppressed the memory. So you may need to work with a professional and get some help. Okay. If you don't remember a lot of your childhood, that's a sign you probably have a lot of stuff you need to work through. Because now is the time for change. Now is the time for goodbye. What's that song? Hello, goodbye. I don't know why we say goodbye. I say hello. Yeah. You can't say hello if you don't say goodbye. You can't welcome the new if you don't adios the old. And the best way to do that is with community, the supportive community that actually get what you're trying to achieve, that actually get what you want to experience, that have the same values as you, that celebrate the same things as you. So if this is your career, are you around other people that appreciate and are ambitious about their career? If this is about relationships, are you around people that respect their partner, that value connection? Or are you around people that are always talking bad about their partner, that are always unloading on you and like not keeping their relationship private? Right? I know we all need someone to talk about, like to share what we're going through with, but there's a very big difference between having a very sincere conversation with a friend and asking for guidance and continually bad mouthing your partner to someone, like to your people that you're around. Big difference. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Because if you value connection, if you value relationship, you're not going to be around those people, and you're going to learn that you need to protect your relationship. I don't know how to say that, so I guess we'll move on. And just think about it. Like, again, I'm going right back to the last episode in the Friends series. How much easier do you think it was for them all to say goodbye to the apartment? Goodbye to that chapter of their lives when they were there together, when they could face it together. So much easier. So much easier because they were going forward together into the unknown also. They were saying goodbye together and they were saying hello together. Together carried them through. So beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Maiden, Mother, and Crone. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pull our vagus nerve card. We're going to do connection. And then we will open it up to personal readings. Excuse me. One card, please, for this collective. I knew it was going to come. Okay, this was on the top of the deck, and I almost grabbed it. And I was like, no, we'll just shuffle. I knew this was going to come out. Hug, hug, hug. Hugging can relieve stress, lower blood pressure, promote relaxation, and boost the immune system. The hug must be wholehearted and prolonged to release oxytocin, the bonding hormone that promotes a sense of trust, safety, and emotional healing. When you're hugging someone, especially like if you're a parent and you're hugging your kids, the thing I've started doing is I hug my children until they release the hug. Because I don't know how long they need a hug. I'm not going to arbitrarily just let them go. When they are done, when they have received the comfort, when they have received love, when they feel trusted and supportive, they'll let go. So when you are hugging people, hug until they release. Can you do that? It'll get to a point where it feels kind of uncomfortable, but that means they need it even more. And I'm willing to bet somebody might start crying unexpectedly out of nowhere because they needed that hug way more than you knew. And the fact that you let them have it, that you held them and did not release until they were ready to release, be surprised. Find a person you trust with whom you can share a genuine and affectionate hug. Okay, I said affectionate, but the word was effective. Effective hug. What? I guess that means like what I was saying, like don't release until they've gotten what they need from the hug. Stand in front of each other, taking a moment to communicate any desired boundaries and or pressure you're comfortable with. Yeah. So maybe you just want a side hug. Maybe you just like why can't I speak today? When you're ready, move in for the embrace. The magic of a hug tends to happen with time. So hold the embrace for a generous 20 seconds or even longer if comfortable to both of you. I told you, longer the better. If you find yourself alone, engage in an extra long self hug, bringing to mind a person or animal that brings you comfort. Stay with these feelings until you experience a physical shift, perhaps a deep breath or a yawn. And if you are doing a self hug, you can always use a pillow or a stuffed animal, anything like that. Okay. Hug, hug, hug. Indeed, indeed, indeed. I love that. I love that card. All right, if you're catching the replay, you can always click here for more collective tarot readings from this channel. If you are watching live, I would love to pull a card for you. Just pop your name and question in the chat, and I would love to just go ahead and do that. Let's see what we have here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and clear out my cards real quick, and then I will do this reading for you. Sneha. I think it's, oh man, I did it again. All right, we are going to work with the maiden archetype for you, my dear. Should Sneha talk to her parents and eldest sister now that she does not want any marriage proposals? Maiden, can we have guidance, please, for Sneha? All right, on the bottom of the deck, you have the Chariot. Sure can when I'm done with this reading. So not only should you do this, Sneha, But with the King of Swords coming through, you need to be extremely, what is the word? Convicted? Yeah, convicted in your belief. Don't just say why you don't want it, say why you do. Say, maybe you need to give a period of time. Like, I don't want to deal with this for a year, and then we can talk about this again. Or like specific achievements that you like. I want to work on healing X, Y, and Z, and then after that point, then I will be open to it. But right now, I need to focus on me. Something about being very sure, very convicted, of what you believe about this situation. But yeah, with the Chariot, you need to do it very quickly. And also, even though you're like being very convicted, make sure you're still coming forward a bit humbly, offering this with kindness, not judgment, being very innocent in your approach. Okay. That is what I have for you, my darling. Javon, talk about money. Hi, Kai. How you doing? I was just thinking about you this morning. Wondering how you were doing. Mother, for Javon, can we talk about money? What's coming in for Javon with money? What does Javon need to know, please? This one, okay. Ooh, I like that. All right, so you have the Page of Wands on the bottom of the deck. That is very, I was going to say nice, and then I was going to say fiery, but it's not the energy that needs to come through. Passionate is what needs to come through. Okay, I'm doing well, Kai. Thank you. Your card, Javon, is the Lovers. In this card in particular, there is a narrative about the sky god and the earth goddess and how they love each other but have always been separated. So I'm seeing something about making money has always, like, you've always desired to make money in a way that is more fulfilling, that you're more passionate about, that you are excited about. There is a deep sense of longing that comes through with this card, with the narrative of this card. So with the Page, oh my goodness, yeah, and King Arthur under that with the King of Swords. I'm hearing like what you see and what you feel very passionate about, you need to trust and move forward with in this time. Because, and again, with this card, it talks about when, like, the mind and the earth, when the air and the earth join together, when your thoughts and your actions join together, time stands still. So it's like you have the opportunity for a quantum leap. You have an opportunity to achieve things very quickly when you are in alignment with the things that you're passionate about, and you're not allowing your thoughts to hold you back, not allowing to be afraid. Okay. Vibing life. Would you like a reading today, darling? Thank you, Javon. Okay, and so this was your conversation with Buddy. Is that right? Do I have the partner name right? Whether it's Buddy or not, I'm so happy to hear this for you. This is amazing news. Oh man, I'm like 6 of wanting you right now. Like, so much celebration and recognition. I'm proud of you for being honest and having a conversation that was probably challenging and probably required you being a bit vulnerable. Way to go. That's awesome. You posted the question. Hold on, hold on. What do you mean you posted the question? You have a question? This is the question? I'm confused. Oh, that's what you asked. Way to go. Will this lead to commitment with us down the road? And it was yes, it will. That's amazing. Oh my goodness. That is so amazing. Yeah, y'all don't need to waste your time if you're not going to be committing to each other. What's the point of that? That's awesome. And you felt like very like confirmed in your soul that you were not being fed a lie. Like this was, yeah, for sure. Like honest. You guys are being honest with each other. It seems like you feel really good. So I think that's definitely the case. Your energy's like nice right now. I'm enjoying it. Thank you for sharing it with me. Oh, that's so beautiful. Way to go, Kai. Way to go, hun. That's awesome. That's so awesome. I bet you feel a lot lighter too. Now that you've had this conversation, I bet you're just like your energy is just clear. That's what it feels like to me. It feels very clear. Yeah. I love that. Oh man. I am genuinely so happy for you. I know I keep saying that, but I know what it feels like to. Of course you can. Of course you can. Mother, what blessings are coming in for Kai this September, please? What blessings are coming in for Kai this September? What blessings are coming in for Kai? Oh, darling. All right, so you have the Page of Wands on the bottom of the deck. That's very nice. Oh my gosh. And then under that, you have the Nine of Cups. But your card was the Knight of Cups. So I feel like definitely this relationship will probably move forward even more. You'll have a more of a commitment, more of an understanding with each other. I'm also hearing like anything your heart desires. Yeah, with these two cards coming through, like whatever you're passionate about, whatever you want to experience, whatever is your wish. For some reason, the energy in September is going to be really favorable for you to experience that. So if you get a download, act on it. Like if you get the nudge, the inspiration to do something, don't wait, act on it, trust it. If it's like Cups intuition, like just trust your intuition whenever you get these downloads. Especially if you're really excited about it, like if you're really passionate about it, it's definitely a time to lead with your heart and experience everything that you have been waiting for, that you've been longing for is the word I heard. But in September, you're not going to be in a longing energy. You're going to be in a creation energy. Yeah, it is great. It's like very positive, just like it's flowing. Like when you get inspiration, don't look for it. It's going to come when you are relaxed, when you're chill, when you're happy. But whenever you get that inspiration, act on it. Don't wait. Okay. And just keep, I know this is not air energy, but because this knight is holding a sword, just keep your boundaries, keep, I think it has to do more with your heart space and your, like your life force energy. Keep pretty strict boundaries there and don't make sure you're cutting away negativity. Okay. And if you have a bad thought, that doesn't mean like that it's going to ruin everything. No, let it be there. But I'm just saying, like, cut away any like going into the rabbit hole, cut away. Like, if you're around people that are being really negative or that like to like gossip a lot or talk about how bad their job is, like, just maybe time to like step away from them for a little bit, because that is not your September, sweetheart. Your September is beautiful. Oh, yeah, I get it. Woo! I get that for sure. Yeah. Yeah. And I would even, as you guys continue to like talk and have a good time, don't forget to keep having those serious conversations. So if you know that his people have those kind of energies, be very honest with him and be like, look, I don't want you bringing that kind of energy into this relationship. I know that's who you're around, so you're going to be more likely to bring it. So I need you to be very mindful of my energy and my space. I'm mindful of yours. Be mindful of mine. Right? If anybody else would like a personal reading, pop your name and question in the chat, and I would love to read for you today. We have done a few so far. It's been nice catching up with Kai, vibing live. Oh, I'm good. I'm so happy to hear you told him that. That's awesome. Hold the line, babe. Hold the line. And you're welcome. All right, my darlings. I would like to remind you on this channel, always come as you are and stay as you become. Bye, my friends.